freestanding totem pole in the world. It's 39 meters tall. That's 127 feet. It was carved by renowned Kwakwaka'wakw Nation carvers Mungo Martin, David Martin, and Henry Hunt, and was raised in 1956. The traditional totem poles of indigenous people in the Pacific Northwest depict humans, animals, mythological beings like the Thunderbird, and natural features like the sun and moon. The images have symbolic meaning. Often they represent characters or events in a story or family history. In 2011, the totem pole was restored, and it was estimated that the landmark had another 10 years before it would be lowered to share its stories with the earth below. Look up and you'll see a flagpole on the top of the hill that gives the park its name. Beacons placed on the hill once helped guide ships into Victoria's bustling harbor. The waters of the Straits of the Juan de Fuca can look peaceful on a summer's day, but don't be fooled. Vancouver Island's rugged coastline used to be so dangerous for ships that people called it the graveyard of the Pacific. You'll soon see two monuments that link Victoria with the whole world. One marks the start of one of the world's longest highways. The Trans-Canada Highway starts right here and continues to the mainland. It even includes a ferry as part of the highway. Highway 1 stretches clear across the continent to the Atlantic, covering almost 8,000 kilometers or about 5,000 miles. Nearby, you'll see a statue honoring a true Canadian hero, Terry Fox. Bone cancer took Terry's right leg when he was just 18, but he refused to give up. To raise money for cancer research, he decided to run across Canada on his prosthetic leg. Terry planned to end his marathon of hope where the monument stands today. He completed over 5,000 kilometers, or 3,300 miles, before his cancer spread. That tragedy took his life, but his spirit lives on. Every year, people around the globe participate in the Terry Fox Run, the world's largest one-day fundraiser for cancer research. We're now making our way past the west side of Beacon Hill Park. Some see Beacon Hill Park as a testament to Governor James Douglas's generosity. But during the colonization of this region, he was actually required to set aside park space by the British government. Today, Beacon Hill Park is the jewel in Victoria's beautiful crown. Locals and visitors alike come here to unwind, explore, and play. Beacon Hill Park teems with wildlife, including turtles lounging on logs and dabbling mallard ducks. If you look up to the trees above, you may even catch a glimpse of the nesting great blue heron. Man arrived here from Quebec in the mid-1800s. The nunnery was nothing more than a log cabin with no heat. Almost immediately, they set up a much-needed school for the children of Victoria. They also established St. Joseph's Hospital, which played a critical role in the city's healthcare. Today, St. Anne's has restored a portion of the building and grounds to its 1920s glory and opened it to the public. The original log cabin is now the oldest structure in Victoria. It's been moved to Elliott Street Square, near the Royal British Columbia Museum. With magnificent stained glass windows. This is Victoria's third Christchurch. Fire destroyed the original in the mid-1800s, and the congregation outgrew the second. This one's constructed of concrete, stone, and brick, much more substantial than the earlier wooden buildings. Winston Churchill laid a stone of the North Tower in 1929. It's still visible to the left of the church entrance. Christchurch Cathedral offers free, self-guided tours so visitors can enjoy the stunning interior. This stop, Christchurch Cathedral. Hop off here to explore one of the largest churches in Canada. Take some time to unwind in the brick meditation circle or walk about the beautiful trees and perennial flowers surrounding the cathedral. Christchurch Cathedral, this stop.
Free tour or something there, Vaughn. Lots of places to check out, eh? We're heading to Craigdarroch. How do you pronounce it? Craigdarroch Castle. And it's a block or two up here. And I'm just showing the beautiful scenery up here. Look at, there's that house, Fawn. Look, Fawn, wow. Here we go.
This used to be someone's house, Mom. Can you imagine?
Yeah. You get a picture of this out here. Can you go stand beside that sign and I'll take a picture? There it is. Beautiful, eh? We're gonna go inside and look at it. I guess we can catch the next bus in an hour, right, Vaughn? Bonnie? Maybe, we'll see. Do we walk around it first, or look at that house there? There's a house over there, Vaughn. We probably get lots of people in here. There was a couple other museums we could go in and look at, a church and everything. What's this? Craigdarroch, built for. Oh, he died before his mansion was even completed.
Much further. For many centuries, indigenous families lived along the shores here. By the mid-1800s, the Hudson's Bay Company controlled a 2,500-acre agricultural area here that would soon be divided into smaller family farms to serve a growing city of Victoria. And those farms would eventually make way to the suburban landscape you see here today. Today, traditional village life and endless recreational opportunities continue to be Oak Bay's trademark. Check out the many events hosted by the District of Oak Bay, including a classic car festival, the Oak Bay Tea Party, and the Oak Bay Night Market. Our mild climate makes Victoria home to a variety of beautiful trees and forestry. Although our city works hard to keep roadside tree branches trimmed, we do occasionally encounter some overgrowth on our tour route. So we're going to ask you to please be aware of low-lying branches that can catch you by surprise if you don't see them coming. Please remain seated at all times when the bus is moving. Abrupt stops can cause a sudden jerk. Your safety is very important to us, so we ask that you keep your body, including your hands and arms, inside the bus at all times.
Here's Oak Bay. Oh, there's an apartment to move into. So it's only 375,000, Vaughn. A third of the size, well, 3 times the size of Nanaimo, but only a third of Edmonton. Huh? Oh, look at that pink. Careful.
This stop, Oak Bay Village. Hop off here for a little taste of village life. The pub is nearby, along with a choice of cafes, bistros, tea and sweets. Or browse some of Vancouver Island's favorite boutiques and art galleries. Or those feeling more adventurous will find a pathway at the end of the avenue for direct access to the seaside.
Nice, Avon.
Offers some absolutely stunning views. On a clear day, a view of the dormant volcano Mount Baker stuns onlookers with its majestic beauty. You may see it here today, along with the Songhees Islands, known now as Chatham and Discovery. These small islands were inhabited by Lekwungen families for many centuries, until the well went dry in 1957. Today, the islands are still owned and protected by the Songhees Nation. They kept a very special watch over one resident, the lone coastal wolf, Takea, who arrived in 2012 and used to live on the islands. Experts were surprised by his ability to survive all alone on such a small group of islands. He spent 7 years here patiently waiting for a female wolf to join him, but he tragically died on March 24th, 2020. How he came to be on the islands is still a mystery, since the closest wolf pack lived 45 kilometers away. His arrival holds spiritual meaning for the Songhees people, who connect to Kea with their much-loved chief, Robert Sam, who passed away the same year Kea arrived.
Nice, everyone. There's the ocean. We're gonna bus up here anyways on Saturday. Vaughn? We're close. Marina restaurant. Ooh. There's a gift shop. There's gift shops everywhere here, eh, Ron? Kayak rentals. See that one, Wayne?
This stop, Oak Bay Marina. Hop off here to take in the magnificent oceanside views. Visit the seals and take advantage of the marina's many facilities. Oak Bay Marina, this stop.
Some glare on the window in the sun. Could get off here too if we wanted to, but all I see is my clothes glaring on here. Should be okay out here. Oh, nice, Avon. Look at all these apartments. This is a nice area.
In just a few moments, we'll stop at the Oak Bay Beach Hotel. The building you see today is the third one built on the site. The original was constructed in 1927, but soon succumbed to fire. The second building was built soon after and stood here until 2006, when it was demolished to make way for the larger, more accommodating property you see here. Today's Carnation was designed to reuse many parts of the original and to blend into the grand architecture of the neighborhood. Besides world-class accommodation, the hotel features the Snug Pub, Victoria's first neighborhood pub with a cozy atmosphere and an oceanside patio. There's even a theater here named for David Foster, the famous music producer who now makes his home in LA, but was born in Victoria and returns frequently with an entourage of celebrities to raise funds for his foundation dedicated to transplant research. Long Beach Drive have their own history. Many of them were home to some of Victoria's most prominent figures, including the Bouchard family, still known today for their famous garden attraction. Golf was of course also popular, and just ahead we will drive through the middle of Canada's oldest golf course. Since 1893, the Victoria Golf Course has been the pride of Oak Bay. The course was designed around the nature that surrounds it and boasts 4 holes right along the seaside. At one time, some tee-offs were aimed from one side of Beach Drive to the other, but that all changed in the 1920s when auto traffic led to increasing danger. The jury is still out on who was endangering who. We're now approaching a view of one of this area's coastal icons. To your left, you will see the Trial Islands Lighthouse. The Enterprise Channel separates us from the islands. There were a number of deadly shipwrecks here before this lighthouse was constructed in 1906, and many lives were lost when crews were taken by surprise by the channel's treacherous currents and unpredictable westerly winds. In the early days, lighthouse keepers were stationed on Trial Island to manually light and extinguish the beacons, operate the foghorns, and watch for the safety of all ships passing through. They lived an isolated life, but the value of their work has been proven many times since. Over the years, lighthouse operations became more and more automated all across Canada. until it was decided they would all be automated. But when Trial Island was up for full automation, the argument was made that the keen eye of the keeper was still needed due to the treacherous conditions in nearby waters. And so today, Trial Island has one of the few staffed lighthouses in operation. Another historical lighthouse sits not too far to the west. The Fisgard Lighthouse began operations in 1860, making it the oldest operating lighthouse on the west coast today. The sheltered and nutrient-filled waters around Vancouver Island support a rich array of marine life, from plankton to sea stars, crabs, octopus, and a vast assortment of saltwater fish. These fish support marine mammals like river otters, seals, and sea lions. Seabirds get in on the action too, watch for osprey and cormorants diving for fish. Victoria is also a premier spot for whale watching. In the spring, thousands of Pacific gray whales pass the west coast of Vancouver Island as they migrate north. You can also spot humpback and minke whales. 3 pods of black and white orcas, or killer whales, spend a good part of the year just south of the island in the Salish Sea, socializing and feeding on fish and smaller sea mammals. Victoria has plenty of whale watching opportunities, from small open-air boats to large comfortable covered vessels that serve tea and drinks. Check with one of our agents for more information. Let's take a trip back in time to when Vancouver Island was a pristine wilderness. As we've mentioned, they lived in a land of plenty, with a temperate climate, calm waters, bountiful fish, good hunting, and abundant edible plants. The island's cedar trees provided raw materials for shelter and even clothing. With all these resources, British Columbia's coastal region was one of the most densely populated areas in North America. BC is considered a global language diversity hotspot, with 34 First Nation languages and over 90 dialects spoken across 204 First Nations. This makes up over half of all the Indigenous languages in Canada. Today, Victoria's Royal British Columbia Museum works with the First Peoples Cultural Council to document and preserve these languages. Language provides the key to understanding the true diversity of First Nations history, culture, and values. Considerable effort is being made to revive ancient dialects and traditions through education. While many European explorers came to the area during the Age of Exploration, some historians say the first European to step foot on Vancouver Island was James Cook, a British navigator of the 18th century. Cook happened upon Vancouver Island while searching for the Northwest Passage that connected the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. In the spring of 1778, Cook arrived at what is known today as Friendly Cove in Nootka Sound, an inlet on the midwestern coast of Vancouver Island. He and his crew explored the area, repaired their ships, and traded with the local indigenous people for otter furs. This marked the beginning of the fur trade in the Pacific Northwest, which would reshape Canadian history. James Cook departed soon afterwards without realizing that Vancouver Island was in fact an island separated from the mainland. Vancouver Island was named after naval officer George Vancouver, who had accompanied Cook on that voyage of discovery. Decades later, Vancouver came back to map the area. During his 4-year survey of America's northwest coast, he finally realized that this was an island when he sailed all the way around it. He surveyed Vancouver Island's inlets and channels, doing such a good job that many of his measurements have stood the test of time and are still used today.